it's a pleasure to be talking again on the World Economic Forum. And as I've always felt, this is a great forum from where we can project our views about our economy and talk to the investors. So let me just say, first of all, that Pakistan had stabilized its economy and was heading in the right direction when COVID hit us. And just like every country got badly hit by COVID because this was something unprecedented. And it was unprecedented because of the lockdown. There's no precedence of an economy being locked down, completely shut, and the consequences of that shutdown. That's really what the world is coping with. So for us, it was not just a question of curtailing the virus, but it was also stopping our people dying from hunger. And we very quickly realized that when you lock down an economy, you have to take care of those people who are daily wagers, whose family depend on their earnings on a daily basis or a weekly basis. And if you lock the economy down, not only these people get affected, but secondly, those people, who are in the informal sector, like the labor in Pakistan's labor, 80% is in the informal sector. So we have no record of them. So unlike the US, where you could send money to their bank accounts, we couldn't do that. So we quickly realized that we could not impose a lockdown like the one imposed in Europe or in China. We realized that we had to go for a smart lockdown. In other words, have spot the hotspots and lock them down, but do not really have a strict lockdown, because you can't lock down hungry people. So that worked. We opened up our economy quicker than others. We never locked down the agriculture sector, which was basically rural. We opened up the construction sector, which was in the cities. And because it was mainly outdoor, there was no spread because opening up the construction sector. And then we had a cash program where we gave about 15 million families were given cash handouts. And it was one of the best programs. And that really saved us from the worst effects of the lockdown. And actually, because the people were with us, the public complied with our measures, we came out of it better than any other country. So we saved our economy from its worst effects. Also, we saved people dying from the virus. Now, of course, we are hitting a second peak. And my worry right now is that, number one, because we succeeded so well, people are no longer that worried about the virus anymore. And so we do not find that sort of level of compliance. And secondly, we do not know how long this second wave, because it's in the winter, we don't know what this winter wave is going to be like. So, there's a bit of worry right now, because our cases are climbing up quite rapidly these days. The lessons we learned from the first wave of COVID was that we, in our country, with our high levels of poverty and with a young population, high levels of unemployment, we cannot afford a lockdown where we lock down our businesses, where we lock down the factories. So we have taken a policy decision that we are going to keep the businesses and the factories which employ people. We are not going to lock them down. We are going to only lock down the non-essential, in other words, public gatherings and so on, where our economy doesn't get hurt, because we feel that the consequences of hurting our economy on the people is going to be far greater than the effects of the virus. Now, the two challenges we faced, the two biggest challenges, one was the fiscal deficit. When we came to power, it was the biggest ever fiscal deficit in our history. And second was the current account deficit, the external deficit. And that also was a record deficit. So the first year and a half really was stabilizing the economy to bring these deficits down. So cutting our expenditure, improving governance, and then improving the tax collection remedy the fiscal imbalancing. And secondly was cutting down on our imports and trying to stimulate our exports, stimulate remittances into Pakistan, because that forms a considerable part of our foreign exchange earning. Foreign direct investment, which was improving and fortunately is improving again. And then also clamp down on money laundering. Now, this is a big problem in the developing world where illicit flows of money leave our country to offshore accounts and so on. This illegal money. So we clamp down on that too. As a result, after 17 years, the last quarter, we had a current account surplus. This is after 17 years, so this was a big achievement, and which reflected on the stability of our currency, because we have our currency is now floated and it's on a market-based exchange rate. So our current currency stabilized, in fact gained in the last few months. Our exports started increasing, because previously our exchange rate was artificially kept high. As a result, the exports went down, and we had the biggest trade gap of $40 billion between import and exports. Our exports started improving. We also gave incentives to the export industry, to the industry in general. And so we are seeing, compared to all the other countries who've been hit by COVID, Pakistan is that fortunate country where our stock exchange shows that the business community has confidence in us. Our exchange rate reflects that. We have now cement sales are highest in our history, which means that the construction, the incentives given to the construction sector have worked. So the construction sector is on the move, which means more employment. Our textile industry at the moment is running full. The hub of the city, which is the hub of the textile industry, Faisalabad, they are short of labor right now. So the measures we took first stabilized and now are heading in the right direction. Of course, I say this because we do not now know, and we are praying that the second wave of COVID does not really make us take those measures which affect this right trend, the country which is heading in the right direction. CPEC is not exclusive to just China. CPEC is, first of all, it started with connectivity. It was a transport, a road network which connected various areas in Pakistan. Secondly, it was about power generation. We were short of power, so we needed power generation, to fuel the growing population and the growth rate. So now the second phase of CPEC is more than connectivity. It is special economic zones which we are opening up. With special incentives there. It is about agriculture, where we really need help from China because their productivity in agriculture is much higher than in Pakistan. And it's about also these technology institutes which we want help from China because of digitalization of Pakistan, improving our e-commerce. So we need skilled labor for that. So that's also part of CPEC. But mainly it is about connectivity. It connects Pakistan to China, which is one of the biggest markets. First time in Pakistan's history, we are modernizing our railway. And it will completely revolutionize railway travel in Pakistan, which is called the ML1. And it connects Karachi right up to Peshawar. And the next phase, we want to connect it right through Afghanistan to Uzbekistan. So it will connect us to China. And also, we hope that there will be an east-west. Unfortunately, with India right now, we have a problem. And we hope that this will change with a new government, which is a moderate government. We have where we can resume normal relationship with India. But with Iran, if sanctions are lifted there, we then have a north to south